What's up, people? How we doing? Let me just move over a little bit. How we doing? What's up? Oh boy, did we see that plea when Mr. Derek Smith withdrew that plea? I got it. I'll be dropping it. It's actually processing right now. I'm gonna put it a two-parter because I'm editing the second part. So part one will be up. Also, I have a ton of clips. Judge Simpson and Bryant were on a roll today. We're gonna start off with my girlfriend, Judge DeSanto. Some old lady has a pocket full of pillage, and she is. And we got the $17,000 back child support update. We have closure on that one. Did the boss pay up? Is he cutting lawns as we speak, or is he still in the clink? Who knows? Let's find out. What's up, everybody? I see some new people trickling in. I see my old heads. How we doing, everybody? So glad to see you. How we doing? Let's get rolling. How about my girl DeSanto? Let's roll. Thank you, Toby. Donos are up. Here we go.
On the record in the matter of Sonia Shane, 221679. Good morning. Have your name, please.
Sonia Shane.
All right, thank you. And today's date scheduled for sentencing on your client's probation violation, plead guilty on April 25th. And the court had your client test last week. Because if I recall correctly, wasn't your client saying that her medication had amphetamine in it?
No, but she did, it was that the kind of medicine that she was on sometimes provides a false positive. Additionally, there was a question on, well, why wasn't that happening the entire time while she was on? She had prescriptions for the medication, but she wasn't taking them.
That's right. She had the prescription since July of 22, but indicated she hadn't used them for a long time, and then claims that she's been refilling it. Okay, so I'm not confused. This is the same person.
Correct, Your Honor. What she was able to, if I could read into something that she was able to produce from her research, was in some cases it is possible to get a positive test result even if you didn't take amphetamine. It's called false positive. Test results may come back positive if you have taken certain antihistamines, nasal inhalers, or cold medicine. You may also get a false positive if you take certain medicines for depression. These include tricyclic medicines, and ibuprofen. Talk to your provider about whether these prescriptions over-the-counter medicines you take give you a false positive. And under the tricyclic medicines, first did fall within. That being said, I know that this test is designed to determine if they're amphetamines. I just asked recommendations of probation be adopted, that she's able to maintain her probation. Absent this circumstance, she's done quite well on probation, and she's nearing the end. She insisted she wouldn't do anything to jeopardize that. So in regards to allocution, I just asked that the recommendation for probation be adopted, and that she be given a final opportunity to demonstrate full compliance. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. And so here's what I'm going to indicate. Now that you just had that, so probation sent a letter or a communication to Abbott or also Redwood Toxicology Laboratory, requesting a letter of interpretation regarding Ms. Shane's March 17, 23 drug test. And went on to indicate the following medications that were prescribed: acetaminophen, COD number 3, valacyclovir HCl, cyclobenzaprine, amitriptyline HCl, lamotrigine, Elixum, Divalprox. Am I supposed to be spelling all those for you, Sandra? Okay. And based, so just to confirm whether or not any of those prescriptions would cause a positive. The response was, and it was from Kim Peterson, a toxicologist at Redwood Toxicology Laboratory. The medications that were listed are not known to contain or metabolize to amphetamine. So, what's also interesting, I will note, is that on April 26th, why, you didn't test on April 25th?
I emailed, I couldn't act anyone until my 5 o'clock at night shift, and I tried, I went first thing the next morning, I went to Dearborn. But there was no other place the earliest place.
Yeah, please turn against your pocket.
Okay, the first place was, that opened was 4:30 was less than, wouldn't give me enough time to get to my job at 5. So I
Get your hands out of your pockets.
did, email you, and I emailed Alex as well. And, I emailed it to the court, I found online for your email. And
My personal email here at the court, or the court email?
court email.
Okay, all right, because you can't communicate with me directly.
And, but I can't lose my job, and so I did go Wednesday morning, so.
Well, let me just be clear, ma'am, if you're in custody, then you would be losing your job, like, most likely. This court's order was you were to test that day. You're to test that day.
Certainly.
Excuses.
So you went and tested the next day. It wasn't first thing, it was at 8:36 in the morning. First thing would have been 6 a.m. when they opened. And what's interesting enough is that you indicated you've been taking that medication, amitriptyline, yet amphetamine is negative now. The amphetamine is negative, but opiate was positive, which you have a prescription for.
I don't know, I've been taking it though, and all I can tell you now, I'm being honest with you.
Right, which is why I don't believe that it's that medication that is causing the positive test for the amphetamine. And you don't, and this also okay, so, all right. So not only are we doing the sentencing on the probation violation from April 25th, there's an additional violation that there is positive for amphetamine and oxycodone on April 5th, and she failed to appear for custody on April 25th. Did you see that in there, counsel?
Your Honor, I believe that she has a prescription for the oxycodone, and, as to the mid-test, she did, elaborate on why she didn't make that test date. She went to following date. Obviously, it was a technical violation. We're not testing those violations, but as long as the recommendations remain consistent, we still be asking to be adopted.
All right, so ma'am, please raise your right hand. Tell me, sir, can you tell me about to give this man the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, as the allegation, you have the positive for amphetamine and oxycodone on April 5th, 2023, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
As the allegation failed to appear for your drug testing as ordered on April 25th, how do you plead?
Guilty, Your Honor.
And you understand that you've gone over your rights for probation violation purposes, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand all those rights.
Yes, Your Honor.
You also understand by entering the plea, you'll be waiving your right to have your contested hearing.
Yes, Your Honor.
And anybody promise you anything, threaten you, or coerce you in any way to enter into a plea today?
No, Your Honor.
Am I crazy?
And you
Hope you're
understand the
doing
possible
well.
penalties as a result of your plea, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Counsel, I believe we've established a factual basis for the drug testing on the 25th. As for the positive amphetamine and oxycodone on April 5th.
Yes, as the termination of your probation, you ordered the test, for drugs and alcohol on April 5th, 2023. Miss? Asking you a question?
Come on, can we get real here? This poor lady needs rehab. I mean, skipping tests. She just standing there. She looks like a wreck. Believe me, I know.
And you're not contesting that the results tested positive for amphetamine and oxycodone.
The court is also satisfied the plea is knowing, voluntary, and tax. Yes, the court will accept your plea to the probation violation in the case technical violation number 3. And so the sentencing on the April 25th, the recommendation is increased random testing. And the recommendation for these violations is for your client to attend outpatient substance use counseling.
You know, right as the adopted, she's the final stage of her probation. I believe that there's going to have to probably be some clarifications with the medicines that she takes so that she can avoid this in the future. I mean, that she's brought all of her prescribed meds. So if there would be a circumstance she tested positive for something she was allowed to be on, she wouldn't be here unnecessarily. So I'd have to take on it.
Do you have a valid prescription for oxycodone?
I have a Tylenol 3, which, at the first test that, I showed up as well, like, for that first, I believe, test that I had.
Hot mess.
Very first one,
I
actually.
don't believe the oxycodone is showing up for Tylenol 3. Hydrocodone maybe, but not oxycodone. So my question remains, do you have a valid prescription for oxycodone?
No, I do not.
Why are you testing positive for
I have
that?
no idea, Your Honor.
Oh yeah, okay.
No.
And why do you have so many medications?
For different things, for depression or, pain, cold muscle, depression, what is the main thing?
And do you have,
Medication.
are all your medications prescribed from the same doctor?
Yes.
All of them?
Yes.
A Metamucil. Good one, Delphi. Slow clap on that one.
Okay, the court's going to indicate, as to the sentencing on your April 25th violation,
Lawrence.
the court's going to adopt the recommendation, we're going to increase your random. I'm sorry, I can't understand what you're saying.
I don't understand myself.
Well, Your Honor, with the increased testing, it's my recommendation that my client be detailed log of everything she takes per day, so that if it is, as she claims, an innocent scenario where it is false positive, then she'll be able to ascertain, and if it's not, as she says, well, the increased testing is going to be a resolution to support one way or the other. But my client understands she's responsible for whatever substance she puts into her body, and it's my suggestion that there shouldn't be this level of ambiguity, that she should start reporting accurately per day what she takes, and that in alliance with the increased testing should hopefully find a resolution on this matter without further consent.
It's actually a very good idea, and then you're to keep a medication log as to what you're taking, what time of day you're taking the medication, and how many,
Yeah,
what your
okay.
dose is of the medication.
Right.
And the court's going to indicate you're to participate in outpatient substance use treatment. The court's going to indicate 10 days jail,
Pac-Man.
suspended. We're going to do a review date on May 31st.
She's what we call around here Pac-Man mode. Broccoli rated memberships. Thank you, broccoli. She's in Pac-Man mode. Ba 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 ba. Just gobbling up those pills. You think she's gonna make a log judge? DeSanto, you disappointed me on this one.
Yeah, 10 a.m.
She needs help. This lady needs help.
So the court will determine that day if you're going to jail. All right. Please have a seat in, and the court's going to also indicate the continuing to terms of probation. You have a $50 probation violation fee as well for each of those. And the court's going to have you have a seat in probation.
Okay, so I got a hot mic. a hot phone in Simpson's room today. It was great. Thank you, Broccoli. Here we go.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Schroeder.
Look at how low DeSanto's volume is compared to everybody else.
That it for my 10 o'clock box?
Would you like to do some,
Yeah, I'll do so.
study on?
Court does call the case. People versus Kelly Deavy.
Good morning.
Everybody's face.
Your Honor, I don't know what that's from, but good morning, Your Honor. It's not on from me. Good morning, Your Honor. Deborah Schlossel on behalf of the defendant, Kelly DeVee, Ms. DeVee.
Hand it over, Jesus. Oh my God, I don't know what to do. Oh my God.
Ms. DeVee, please
I'm so
identify.
sorry.
Look at Simpson.
Please identify yourself for the court.
This is Kelly. Can you hear me? This is Kelly DeVee.
Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Morgan Barroso on
I'm
behalf of
sorry.
the people.
I'm having a hard time.
You're what?
I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time making this work. I get the sound and not the picture, and then I get the picture and not the sound. So at least I can hear you.
Okay, that's good. Okay, this is an arraignment and counsel. You waive formal reading. Your client stands mute.
Your Honor, I think my claim was already arraigned. But if she was
Well,
not,
I don't have it marked as an arraignment.
okay, I apologize, Your Honor. We waived the reading and ask that you enter a not guilty.
You know what? Hold on a second. I think. Do you have her arraigned?
I have it that it needs to be arraigned on my cheat sheet. Let me look in.
Well, scheduled for arraignment 4/5. It looks like she was arraigned.
It looks like when Ms. Schlossel filed her appearance, they removed the April date.
Oh, they removed the date. All right. Defendant
Honor,
having
we-
waived formal reading, standing mute. Court will enter a not guilty plea.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I've pre-tried this case with the prosecution, and we have reached a plea agreement if it pleases the court. I will let Ms. Barroso recite that for the court.
Yes, Your Honor. In this instance, we offered that Ms. DeVee will plead guilty as charged under prosecutor's deferred with alcohol treatment.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Got it. All right. Mr. B,
Yes.
can you raise your right hand, please?
Yes, I can.
I hope so.
Do you have it up there? Do you solemnly
Yes,
swear or
yes,
affirm?
Your Honor, I do.
Do you swear or affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
State your name again for the record, please.
My name is Kelly DeVee.
Ma'am, it is this court's understanding you're going to plead guilty to the charge of retail fraud in the third degree. That is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail, $500 fine plus court costs. Fine could be increased at 3 times the value of the property taken. If that's greater than $500, that would become the maximum fine. You understand that?
I understand.
All right. Still wish to plead guilty?
Yes, I do.
And to that charge, how do you plead?
Guilty.
Now, you understand that by pleading guilty, you will not have a trial of any kind.
Yes.
Because of that, you're giving up certain rights. You're giving up your right to call witnesses to speak for you at trial or to have this court compel their attendance. You're giving up your right to see, hear, and question all witnesses against you at trial. You're also giving up your right to be a witness for yourself or to remain silent, not have that silence used against you. and you're giving up your right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
You understand you're giving up your right to appeal of right.
Yes.
Are you on probation or parole?
No.
Has anybody promised you anything other than what's been stated here today on the record to get you to plead to this charge?
No.
Has anybody threatened you or coerced you?
No.
You're doing this voluntarily and of your own free will?
Yes.
And because you believe that you're guilty of this offense?
Yes.
On August 5th, 2022,
Look at this guy.
I switched tags on some items.
and then you tried to walk through and
Correct.
pay less for the item than it was marked?
Yes, Your Honor.
Store was open to the public at the time?
Yes, Your Honor.
You didn't have anybody's permission to do that, did you?
No, Your Honor, I did not.
And these items that you switched
What's
tags
up,
on,
Eagle?
these were items that were offered for sale by Walmart?
Yes, they were.
All right, counsel, have I complied with the court rule? Would it be proper to accept this defendant's plea?
The people
Yes,
are
that is-
satisfied. The people are
Court will
satisfied.
Thank you. Court will accept the defendant's plea of guilty to this charge. Defendants referred to probation for a pre-sentence investigation and report. Sentencing in this matter will be June 14th, 2023, 9 a.m. or as your Zoom invite indicates. Defendant's bond is set at $5,000 personal recognizance bond. I will order standard conditions, including no assaultive behavior or possession of any weapons or ammunition. No use of alcohol, recreational marijuana, or any illegal drugs. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
I am also going to order that the defendant is not to enter the any Walmart store in the state of Michigan. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Was alcohol involved in this offense?
Welcome, friend.
Your
No,
Honor, it
Your
was
Honor,
not.
I'm a little confused.
It was not, Your Honor, for the purposes of the court's information, it says in the police report that the detective believed that my client was intoxicated, but she has not drank a drop of alcohol in over 15 years.
Your Honor,
Deal with
based on
that.
the information provided by APA Kirby, there is concerns of substance use according to the police report and according to discussions she had with law enforcement on this matter. And that's why the plea was contingent upon alcohol treatment.
Alcohol treatment. Okay, very good. All right. What I will do then is I'll just leave it as is. I won't send her over at this time to community corrections. All right. June 14, 2023, 9 a.m. Ma'am, I'm going to put you into a breakout room with my probation department so that we can get preliminary information to prepare us for sentencing, okay?
Okay, Your Honor, that's fine. Thank you.
So we got a 2-for-1 there. We got her on the hot mic and her screaming, "Oh dear, what happened?" And then her plea was actually good. It was actually a pretty good little hearing we had too. So I'm glad I clipped the recording on for that one. All right, who saw the Brian explosion today? Oh, we got it. It's so hard getting Brian stuff now because she takes it off right away. So if you're not a nerd locked on, you ain't getting it. And it's never to be seen again because there were some things that I had and I thought she was, she's going to leave it up, and then it just went away, and I was scrambling. I was texting Mrs. Fields, the way I see it. I was hitting up Kitch. I was like, what's going on? Oh my God. Now I learned. So if you're missing Judge Bryant, it's here, baby. Here we go. This one was a beauty. This is important. Look, they put her name. So this is the woman that she's going to lose it on. And deservingly so. Miss McGowan is Hey Doucher.
Good morning, ma'am. Please tell the court your name.
Shaniqua McGowan.
Miss McGowan, please start your video.
I know, I'm trying to figure this.
Tick, tick, tick. The time bomb is tick, tick, tick.
Miss McGowan, what time did you think you had to come to court today?
Now, if she just answered correctly with respect, it's over. But this is on time, so you know she answered incorrectly.
I don't know. Actually, my mother is out of town, and the attorney sent all the information to my mama. So my mother just texted me.
No, nobody had to send no information.
Night Owl, the reason why is because I post clipped videos, so you may have seen it. I posted a video of this during the day.
Ma'am, because you got you.
I didn't get anything. I don't have a phone. She texted to my mother's phone.
I don't care nothing about a lawyer or a text. I'm talking about the notice that the court sent to you. Furthermore, you a grown woman, ma'am.
And I didn't get a notice.
Now, who you talking to? I mean, why
I'm just explaining to you that I didn't get a notice.
No. Who you talking to? I didn't get a notice. Who are you talking to? So first of all, you're very late for court. It would benefit you to be very humble, contrite, and respectful, because a warrant was getting ready to go out for your arrest. Number two, this is the second scheduling of your matter. The first time we didn't issue a warrant for your arrest. But what you need to do is come to my courtroom respectful, not 2 hours late. Make sure that the court has your address, because it's not our issue if your mail is going to your mother's house. Now, I don't have to hear your case today. And the way that your attitude, I may decide not to. But I'm going to send you to the breakout room so you can speak with a lawyer. If you don't know how to come to court on Zoom, if you don't know how to be respectful on Zoom, then maybe you need to show up in person. But you're not going to come on my court and disrespect me. When I woke up this morning, I didn't say, ooh, I'm excited to go to work so that the people can disrespect me. Please accept to join the breakout room, and a lawyer will come in to speak with you.
Thank you, ma'am. And I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, by the way.
But you did without any effort. You were disrespectful without any effort.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Here we go again at 10:39.
Take a deep breath, Judge.
Your Honor,
Yeah.
I'm updating the Gino Johnson.
So then I cut the stream, and then after this, Miss Ritter said, I have to go somewhere, Judge. I'll be right back. The judge goes, you might as well be late. Everybody else is showing up late today. And I cut the stream, and I was like, oh, I missed it. It was like a little delayed. She took her tea. It was great. It was great. She was on it today, boy. All right, here we go. Let's get into a little, we're going to get the update. So if you've seen, I played it on the live, and I played it on, I had it on a video. We had the gentleman, the deadbeat, who was in Judge Braunlick's courtroom, and he owed $17,000. They picked him up. He had his boss vouch for him, but it was either $2,000 cash or you're staying locked up. So today was his second appearance today, and we got the update. Here we go. And the boss is back, and he's lawyered up. So he's got his public defender now, too.
Ricardo Wilkerson.
For the record, Mr. Wilkerson is back before the court this morning for contempt of proceedings. Mr. Wilkerson was arrested and appeared before this court yesterday via Zoom. He was granted a court-appointed attorney. And this morning, Attorney Timothy Leiter has appeared to represent Mr. Wilkerson. In addition to Mr. Wilkerson appearing from the county jail, apparently his employer was unable to post bond last night, also his employer. I'm sorry, sir, what's your name again?
Darius Hudson.
Mr. Hudson. All right, thank you, Mr. Hudson.
You're welcome.
All right, Mr. Leiter, have you had a chance to confer with not only Mr. Wilkerson, but also Ms. Hicks this morning, the county court attorney?
Yes, Your Honor, I did get a chance to talk to Ms. Hicks yesterday. Unfortunately, at that point in time, the Polycom rooms were all slammed, but I did get a chance to talk to him today. I thank your staff for facilitating that. He advises me that he wishes to plead. I just want to clarify something with Ms. Hicks, that I understand that she was contemplating, or at least a decision that bond could be reduced to $1,000 upon the plea. If not, Rebecca, I apologize, but.
Yes, my recommendation to the court was going to be 10 days immediate credit for 4 days, or $1,000 to be released without having to serve the balance of 6 days in the county jail.
My client wishes to take advantage of that plea, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Wilkerson, you've heard the recommendation of in front of the court attorney, Ms. Hicks. The court declined to follow that recommendation, but of course I'll hear from your attorney, Mr. Leiter, before imposing sentence. But is it true and correct that you wish to admit to contempt this morning?
Yes.
Do you understand there'll be no hearing if the court accepts your guilty plea to contempt?
What was that?
Do you understand there'll be no testimony or hearing other than your own testimony? There will be no evidence presented to support this contempt.
Yes.
Are you satisfied, Mr. Wilkerson, that you received your right to legal counsel by conferring with Mr. Leiter?
That's my attorney, yes, sir.
All right, raise your right hand to be sworn, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
What's up, Amazon girl?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please state your name for the record.
My name is Ricardo Wilkerson.
Mr. Wilkerson, do you admit and acknowledge that you are obligated pursuant to order of this court to pay support for the maintenance of a minor child born to you and Cheryl Logan?
Yes, sir.
Do you admit and acknowledge you have outstanding arrearages of approximately $17,000?
Now that I do, yes, sir.
Do you admit and acknowledge that your monthly obligation is approximately $267, and you did not make it? The last payment made was in December of 2022 in the amount of $50.54.
Yes, sir. That's when I lost my job.
Are you disabled?
No, sir. I've been looking for jobs ever since.
All right, then, Mr. Wilkerson, in response to that, the front of the court is a 4-page list of employers that are screaming for employees. I get you a job today, Mr. Wilkerson. So I'm not going to accept the suggestion, well, I lost my job, I couldn't find a job since December until recently. I'm glad you are now employed. Hopefully you still have that job. You're obviously a caring employer, Mr. Henderson, that's here again. Once again, he's here yesterday and again here today. That presumably is going to take you back to work. So there are a lot of jobs out there, Mr. Wilkerson. You just got to be motivated.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Hicks, do you have any questions of Mr. Wilkerson?
I have no additional questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Leiter, do you have any questions, Mr. Wilkerson?
No, Your Honor, I do not.
All right, the court finds by The admission of Mr. Wilkerson that a support order exists. Mr. Wilkerson has a court obligation to pay child support. He's failed to comply with that order, and a significant arrearage exists of $17,000. And this is not going to weigh Mr. Wilkerson unless Ms. Logan comes in and waives some of these arrearages. You've got to work off of $17,000. You don't want to dig the hole deeper. If in fact your income is low and you can't afford the $267, file a motion to reduce your support. Otherwise, you're going to keep clicking along at $267 a month. You have a friend of the court caseworker. Be proactive. Talk to the friend of the court caseworker, and then tell them what your income is. Maybe you would be a candidate to reduce your child support. You got to be proactive. Don't sit on your hands, Mr. Wilkerson. That's what I want to forward to you. But in any event, the court finds that Mr. Wilkerson has failed to exercise due diligence. If he had, he would have secured employment after he was laid off in December. He would not have allowed these kind of significant arrearages to exist. He's not disabled. The court accordingly finds Mr. Wilkerson in contempt of court for his failure to comply with a child support order from this court. Mr. Lader, is there anything that you want to say? The court's inclined to follow that recommendation. Is there anything else you want to say on behalf of Mr. Wilkerson before the court imposes sentence?
No, nothing further. We thank Ms. Hicks and we thank the court. I believe Mr. Hudson does have something he'd like to address to the court.
Right. Mr. Wilkerson, is there anything you want to say before the court imposes sentence?
I just wanted to say I'm trying to do all I can. I have been job hunting. I walk. I don't have no family here. I walk every day looking for a job. Mr. Hudson is the only man that I respect and look up to.
Thank you, Tink.
He's been there for me, him and his wife. I'm trying to do all I can. And my fiance, she's not able to work because of her sciatic nerve. I got 2 kids at the house that I'm trying to get home to. And my bills, my rent's due, and I'm just trying to do all I can. And I need this job before he tries to hire anybody else.
Right.
And,
so, Mr. Wilkerson, in the future,
I'm going to do all I can to get my child support paid up and to get it caught up.
Okay, but did you hear the court? Talk with the front of the court caseworker. You have a caseworker. Come in and talk to the front of the court caseworker and ask, here's what my income is. And they could probably tell you the support is set by guidelines on your income. Maybe you need to file a motion to reduce your support. Just don't sit on your hands. Be proactive. That's what I'm trying to stress.
Yes, sir.
If you get injured in work, you contact the front of the court, file a motion to reduce your support. Don't just ignore the obligation.
Yes, sir.
All right. Obviously, you're not able to post a bond. Now, Mr. Hudson is present this morning. Mr. Hudson, are you able to post this $1,000 bond? And then Mr. Wilkerson can work it off?
See, that's what I spoke with you about last 2 days ago. I'm a family-owned company here, and this is my 6th year, and it's my biggest year. And he was with me last year, and we both knew going into this year it's going to be big for both of us. And I understand the situation. I went down to the friend of the court right before I came to see you guys to talk to your head guy down there, the guy who has, I can't remember his name, but I dealt with him when I was 18, and I'm 46 now. I'll be 46. Paid off my child support, and I went through a lot with you guys. He is really in the position to do things, and if he misses this time, like, I thank God that it's been raining like it has, because it put us on pause while he's there.
Thank you, Fred.
But one day, we were really behind and in a position, like he was saying, I would need somebody else. And they just don't know what he's a specialty worker. Like, he knows things in his skill set. I've been able to branch out and advertise. And these jobs I can't even do until he comes home. So it's like, yeah, I get he needs the lesson of being. And if it was December, I would support it. Like, hey, okay, but now is the time. We're right here in the community. And like I said, he mows the yard right next to the jail. There's no flight risk. So the point is proven, but the money is what's needed. Let's let him go to work, please, if it's possible. And I'm just asking, because I know you have it in your power to do so. You've been kind like that to me in the past. So I know you have it in you to do so. So people just need chances sometimes. And this is a guy who is really working towards it. And this is the opportunity for the court, for you, for Monroe, to say, hey, we gave a chance.
He had a million chances.
And this guy can make a difference in his life, these children. And that's it. You know, I talk a lot, but I just really want to work with him for my company to make it, you know.
Right, thank you, Mr. Hudson, but
Okay.
you did not answer the court's question. The court's question is, are you able to post a bond on his behalf? You're obviously confident he'll come back to work, and he's a good worker,
Well,
and if so, you should be able to post a
yeah,
bond on
see,
his
I'm
behalf if he
all
can work
in,
it off.
Yeah, well, see, I'm
Yeah, Judge is like, yeah, great. He's a great worker, but you got the $1,000?
all in because, like he said, me and my wife already help him and do things. Like, I've really extended myself to the limit,
Ain't helping the
making it
kid.
as we go, and I'm finally making a profit. And this is, like I said, I know it seems really bleak, but it's our week. Like, we
So,
waited
I'm
this
sorry,
whole
Mr. Hudson,
time,
I'm sorry, got other cases?
you know.
So the answer is no, you
No, I
can't
do
post a bond on
not
his behalf. Is
have.
that the answer?
No.
All right,
Yes, that's the answer.
well, the court cannot ignore $17,000 of arrearages, not $7,000, it's $17,000. So the courts are required that they post some type of bond. I'm willing to reduce some from the $1,000 being recommended, but there's got to be some sort of bond, Mr. Hudson. Otherwise, Mr.
Well, what
Mr.
is
Walker
some
could be
sort?
out in
How
6
much
days.
can I bring? What is the minimum?
What's
What is the
recommended?
minimum
I asked
that I
about
can bring? Is it
$1,000. You said
1,000?
you can't post any bond.
No, I can
That's-
post something, but like I can't post 1,000. I can bring 250.
What?
Yeah. It's a
Your
drop in the
Honor, that's
bucket.
not even current support. The front of the court would adamantly oppose.
He owes $267. He thinks he's gonna get out with $250. It's not even the $267 a month.
Anything less than $1,000.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Goodbye.
All right, so again, right now, Mr. Wilson,
okay.
the monthly is $267. It's not even 1 month.
Well, can I do that? Can I pay the monthly?
No. Again, the court appreciates your assistance.
$1,000 is what's gonna take most of it. It's gonna help that out. That's what they're saying.
Okay.
And that applies towards the
All
arrears.
right,
Not
I
going to find the
understand.
court costs. That will help Mr. Wilson because it reduces arrearage by $1,000. So the court's going to follow the recommendation of Ms. Six.
Right.
The court cannot ignore, and Mr. Wilson, it's not like he appeared. He had to be arrested on the bench warrant. He's ignored this obligation. Fortunately, he's got the direction and assistance from Mr. Hudson. And Mr. Hudson, the court does appreciate your interest, and you're willing to help and give guidance to Mr. Wilson. He needs that, and the court appreciates that. But at this time, the court will follow the recommendation of Ms. Six, namely that Mr. Wilson serve 45 days in jail as follows: 10 days immediate. Give him credit for the 4 days he has served. So that means he'll serve 6 days, or he can be released this afternoon upon posting a $1,000 cash bond. And he can avoid the additional 6 days. If he can't post $1,000, then he'll serve 6 days. He'll be out. Keep in mind, Mr. Wilson, you're still going to have 35 days hanging over your head. So whenever you dates come back for review, and you hold the key to the jail, you can avoid any further jail if you simply comply and report. Be proactive. If you can't afford 267 a month, file them. I've said it for the third time now. File a motion to reduce your support. Be proactive.
Yes,
And Ms. Six, what's the review date?
July 11th at 8 a.m.
Okay. All right, Mr. Wilson, you are to appear for Ms. Six for review July 11th, 2023 at 8 a.m. Mr. Leiter, you are discharged, and thank you for your assistance, Mr. Leiter. No need for you to appear. Hopefully, Mr. Wilson will appear on July 11th, and we'll pay some support in the meantime. If not, and he wants more time in jail, then we'll reappoint you on July 11th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Your
All right,
Honor?
any questions? Yes, Ms. Six?
I'd also like to include in the order that upon his release from the jail, he comes to the front of the court and fills out the appropriate change of address form, as he did provide a different address than what we have on record at the front of the court.
All right. So, Mr. Wilson, get released from jail. Walk over to the front of the court, fill out a change of address form. You indicate your new address is 411 Harrison, apartment 2. If you need to fill out that so that you get all future notices at the proper address.
Yes.
Mr. Hudson, do you have any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you for your support of Mr. Wilkerson. A $1,000 bond. It can be released this afternoon. Otherwise, it'll be another 6 days. All right. So that will conclude this hearing. Mr. Wilkerson, a copy of the order will be emailed over to the jail. Get a copy before you release, and one will be also mailed to you.
Okay, so we are definitely in the area of calling this Judge Braun like he's now Judge Steinbrenner. We're going to call him Judge Steinbrenner because of his Larry David-like impersonation. All right, here we go. I have a Judge Elf.
Landlord called me.
I have a Judge Elf TPO. I got the whole thing. Let's get rocking and rolling. Here we go. Judge, why is this doing that? Oh boy. Hold on one second, guys. Bear with me. There we go.
Landlord called me, asked me about the rent. I'll say around about September, and that's when because I came off the road. Yeah, I came off the road. So she's been there about like 5 to be into the house about 4 months.
Let me back up a little bit. Are you saying your son passed away in 2022?
No, he passed away in 2022.
Okay, I was missing that detail. That helps. Okay,
yeah, 2022.
And so you're saying in fall of 2022 is when she started staying at Woodbridge?
Yes, around about April, yeah, around about April.
So about a year ago?
No. She moved in there probably around about April. Then I went on the road. Then when I went over the road, that's when my landlord says that, okay, I haven't, about the rent money. So I was like, okay, let me get back with you. So I called her and I asked her, I said, did you pay, the rent? And then she told me, no. That's when I got off the road. Because when you're over the road, you just can't just get off the road. So when I got off the road to come back.
What year are you talking about?
Of last year.
April of 2022.
Correct.
Okay, we got to be real clear because when it's May 2nd and I hear April, I think last month. So let's be careful. Okay. So a year ago, you had a discussion about the rent being paid or not being paid while you were over the road, and then what happened?
I got off the road, and that was in October. I got off the road in October. I've been trying to call her. She don't answer done. So I came to the house, and I asked her when I got off the road, I said, why you haven't paid rent? So the house was in shambles. So I told her, I said, this ain't going to work. You're going to have to leave. She said, I'm not going nowhere. So I said, well, I have to evict you. I have to evict you. So I went down to the DeKalb County to evict her. They said, she's not on the lease. I said, they said, as long as she's not on the lease, you can give her verbally text. And I gave her a text. She answered it. She said, I can't leave right away. You have to give me some time. So I said, okay, I give you 45 days. Instead of 30 days, I gave her 45 days. Then when that came up, she told me, I'm not going nowhere. So I've been paying rent there to time that she was there since October. Then when we went to court, I guess the judge got, she didn't understand. So she just dismissed the case because she thought we was in, I don't know what she thought. But my landlord was there. She's not on the lease. She never signed the lease, never gave her driver license or social security card to my landlord. She texted him back and said, can I meet you to sign the lease? He said, you have to go through Kim to get on this lease, and he'll meet all of us. She didn't do that. She did not do none of that. So I don't know where she talking about a lease, and I never gave this woman a lease. I always told my landlord. So now she's trying to get on the lease now. And I was like, this is what I get for helping folks. I won't do it again. And it's been in shambles. And then when I goes to court, and when I get back into the house, she had all her peoples over to the house, and they threatened me. I don't know who these peoples is, and they smoking weed. And one guy tells me right in front of the officer and said, "You better get your next of kin because you're gonna need it." Then when I was there, yeah.
Who?
And then
Who said that to you?
I don't know her peoples. Some guy was over there.
A stranger.
Then I got all this over. Yes, that I guess was living. I have no idea. I got it on video. Then she cusses me out, and she pushed me. I didn't push her back. I did not touch this woman. She went over there and turned off all the lights. So I said, that's when I called the police over there. The police didn't write a report until I had called them. I said, you didn't do a report? He said, no. That's when I went to the PTO. The PTO officer came out there, and I talked to the judge. I said, she pushed me. I didn't do nothing about it. The guy threatened me. All her people's over there calling me all types of names. All types of names. So when the officer gets over there, he even said it. He said, I said, did you get that? Can you put that in your report? He said, I will. Because she said, I'm coming back there. You ain't in all of this stuff. I don't want to get into all the names calling. She called me. I mean, the house is just in shambles. I sent the evidence over. It's been like that ever since October of last year. Yeah. I mean, it's everywhere. If you see the video is just everything is in distraught. And so the officer told her, ma'am, you cannot come back. And she said, I bet you I will. She changed the locks. The lease will be up in June. And the officer told her, ma'am, you have to leave. She said, I ain't going nowhere. So the man said, so what do you want to be? What they call it? Some people that want to stay in your house?
Squatting?
Squatting. And she said, yeah. And the officer heard her. All these officers heard her. And she said it. She said, I got somewhere to go. Okay, and the officer yelled at her, well, just leave. I don't get it. She's not on a lease, my landlord, and that's why I had to go and get a lawyer. I'm not even getting I just want her to stay away from me. And the people, they ride by there every other day. They come out there and get my mail. I don't know who these people are. But the police officer said, ma'am, if they ain't doing no harm to you, ain't nothing we can do. They sit in front of the house. It's not her. It's somebody else. I got that on video where the Jeep just sits there. Just sits there. And I fear for my life. So I have all the lights off, and I sleep on the floor. I had to make, if I show you the stuff, Judge, you'll be like, where do you sleep at?
So
it's just a nightmare.
What kind of property is this?
Shut up.
It's a house.
Like a freestanding house. So what part of the house do you stay in?
I stay in the master bedroom. Everything else is tore up. You can't even. It's not even livable.
This is the type of TPO where you get 2 for 1 because you get the reaction on the bottom. She hasn't stopped since this woman started talking.
Everything is. If you see the picture, all of that is from room to room.
Okay, and so you said that she's been living at that location about a year.
Yes.
All right.
And I went over the road, and when I got back off the road, when I seen the house was just in shambles, I told her, I don't live like this. And then she said, this, I live here. You don't live here. I was like, what? You're not even on the lease. I'm just trying to help you out.
So
and
when was the incident that you say that she shoved you?
That was after the court date. That was on the 4th of.
So early April, we'll say.
No, not April. This was this year, February, after the court date. After we left court. Court was in February the 14th, and the judge just dismissed it.
Okay, so the order that I have is dated April the 4th. But I guess you had a court date in February. I do see that on the docket. But then it was reset to April, and I have it's the April court date that I have the paperwork that shows the case being closed.
And the case being closed, what date on that?
April 14th. I'm sorry, April 4th.
April the 4th, yes. And yes, April the 4th, that's when the judge said, I just dismissed this because it's just too much going on here. And she dismissed it. And that's when I went back to the house. That's when all of that happened. Police was over there, everything. And she changed the locks. The police told her, do not change the locks. You cannot change the lock. She changed them anyway. I tried to get back in the house. She wouldn't let me get back in the house. Police came there. She shoved me right there in front of the police officer. And so the man said, she has to get into her house, ma'am. Move out of her way. So, and when I got back into the house, I didn't feel safe. So I said that I would sleep outside in the driveway. So the officer said, you can't do that. And she had peoples over there, like two men, 3 women, and they were smoking pot. So I wasn't gonna go back in there. So I didn't want to call the police back and forth. She called them, I called them, she called them, I called them. So I just called one time. She called 3 times.
All right. So I'm going to turn for a bit to Ms. Williams. Ms. Williams, I understand that the case is laying in front of me because the parties already don't agree about the facts of the case. I'll ask that you be a bit choosy as to what you think is a helpful question to ask or not, because to the extent you already know, you two don't agree. When you ask her a question, you're not going to get the answer you want regardless. Now, with that out of the way and keeping in mind that you'll have an opportunity to testify or call witnesses of your own, do you have questions for Ms. Johnson at this time?
I don't, because she's lying about everything, so I don't want to ask her that because she's going to continue to lie, so no, I don't.
All right. Ms. Johnson, do you have any other witnesses you intend to call today?
I don't have any witnesses, but not at the moment, because by the time I got this, it was too late for me to even get them.
All right. Ms. Williams, is it your wish to testify today?
I do.
All right, raise your right hand for me, please. Do you swear any statement you make to the court today will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. You can put your hand down. Tell me how you came to reside at this location.
Okay, so I was a former hairdresser of Miss Johnson, and like when you come to the hairdresser, we both been in our problems. My mom also passed January the 25th of 2022. Her son passed in January of 2022, maybe like a week or 2 before my mom. Okay, I didn't even know about the house. Yes, I did tell her that me and my children's father was leaving, and she asked me, did I want to get the house? And that was the easiest way for me to go. So I said yes. She even asked me, because she had somebody else staying there, she even asked me, could the man stay there? And I was like, no, I have 3 little girls. I have a 1, 5, and 7-year-old. I said no. So she said, okay, so I guess she moved him out. Me and my brother moved in, because my brother, he was my mom's caregiver. When she passed away, he had OSA. She knew my brother was moving in, so it was me, my brother, and my 3 daughters. Before I even gave any money, I asked Miss Johnson to give me a lease or something, and which she did. It has the owner's signature on it and everything. And I've been giving them cash apping the money to the landlord. Never gave her any money. Okay, the landlord ended up coming to the house maybe like 2 months, maybe like 2 months after we moved in, because he couldn't get in contact with her. He couldn't get in contact with her son. Son passed away. She changed her number, so that's why he popped up at the house. When he came to the house, I told him, hey, well, I wasn't even there. My brother was there. He asked my brother, who was he? My brother
Well,
was like,
if you weren't there, not to be disrespectful, if you weren't there, I can't hear about it. Because
okay,
you're basing your testimony off what was told to you by other people as opposed to what you experienced. But that's so moving past that, what happened next?
Okay, so me and the landlord was in touch, and I was cash apping all rent to him. My brother had said that he felt like somebody was in the house. He said, dude, she come in the house when we're not here? I said, I don't think so. She said, she gave me both the keys. She said, somebody's been coming in the house because things of mine just missing out of my room, and you could just tell somebody been in the house, things misplaced or whatnot. So I called Miss Johnson and asked her. Before I even called her, it was on a school day. I went to pick my children up. I never locked the bottom lock. My brother told me, start locking the bottom lock too. So that day, I locked the top and the bottom lock. Went to pick my girls up, came back, and as soon as I unlocked the top lock, the door open. I called my brother, hey, have you been at home? He said, no, I haven't even left work yet. I said, somebody been in the house. He said, I told you she been in the house. I called Miss Johnson. This was on a Friday. I called her, and she was like, hello. I said, hey, have you been to the house? She said, I'm gonna call you back. I didn't hear back from her. I do hair, so she came up to my salon on it was Saturday morning. The next morning she came up there, and I saw her, you know, like her physique through the window. So I knew it was her. I opened the door, went on the porch. She was like, "Have you paid the landlord?" I said, "Call him and ask him." She said, "Well, his wife said that they haven't received the rent." I said, "Well, call the husband, because that's why I communicate. I never communicate with the wife." So it went on from there, and I didn't show her no receipt or anything that I paid rent. I told her to call the owner. I said, now that I have, I think it was because, you know, when I first started moving in with her, when I first moved in, I would call her and let her know that I paid rent. So once me and the landlord started communicating, I didn't feel there was a need to call her, because this is who I'm paying the money to.
Let me jump ahead here, because some of this can be synthesized to a few questions as far as what I need. So she allowed you in, you began paying rent directly to the landlord, and you never signed a lease necessarily, you just continued to make payments to the landlord.
Yes, I didn't get a lease from the landlord, but she did give me a lease. I don't know if she made a copy of hers, but when she gave it to me, then where the part where you put your name, it was blank. So I filled me and my brother's name in, because I just wanted a paper trail in case something like this happened. Now, if I don't know this man from anything, how did I get paper with his signature on it? So that was
Whoa, back up for a minute. What man are you talking about?
The owner of the home. The owner of the home.
So you're saying that you got a paper from Miss Johnson
that
had the landlord's signature on it. But
yes.
You never dealt directly with the landlord.
No. I didn't deal directly with him until he came over looking for Miss Johnson, and him and my brother came into interaction, and he gave him my number, and then that's when I started talking to him. And I was like, well, he was like, well, I see the boxes. I see you got a whole house full of furniture. He was like, where's him? She told me to say that she was on the road. She don't drive trucks. I think she just got a job, but she told me to say that, and that's what I told her. So that's what she's sticking to. And so he was just like, he didn't care as long as the rent was being paid. I stopped paying the rent. It was October. It was September when she was like, oh, I'm going to file an eviction on you, because when I confronted her about coming into the home, that's when she came up to the shop. She called me at 11:30 on that next Sunday, and she was like, are you at home? I said, yes. She said, I'm on my way over there. I was like, okay, come on. So she came over there, and she was like, well, the owner's trying to sell the house, and he want me to come and take pictures. So I'm like, why would he have you take pictures if he's trying to sell the house? So I stopped her right there. We got in a big argument, and I told her to leave my home, and she said, you're not on the lease. I said, oh, you dirty. I said, okay, well, you still leave. She said, you got 45 days to leave. And I told her, I'm going to leave when I get ready, because it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. And then she said, well, you got 30 days. And so she left, and she texted me the message. I guess that was her way of trying to have a little trail or whatnot. And I did tell her, I said, well, because when we went to our first appearance, she was saying that we're roommates. So I texted her, I said, well, if we're roommates, you owe me for half of the rent for every month that I've been here, because you haven't been here, you don't pay any rent here. So why would you lie and say we're roommates?
All right, so let me jump ahead in the story. So I want to hear what happened in April, that coming up around between the 1st and the 10th, the incident that she's describing with you and the other people saying the police were out and she got shoved. Tell me about that.
Okay, this was just recently. The incident what she's talking about, okay, April 4th, we went to court, and they dismissed the case. I was at work. She went to the house. The landlord called me. He said, hey, Shakita, I don't know what's going on, but Kim is over here in the house. I said, is the police there? He said, no, the police isn't here, but I'm just calling you to tell you.
Let me jump in. Does the landlord live there too?
No.
How did he know she was there?
she had him in court with her. She brought him to court on the case, but the judge told her that he wasn't, like, I guess his name wasn't on it, whatnot, and she didn't subpoena him or whatever, but he couldn't do that. She just probably told him to come and sit in on the case, and she gave him the Zoom number, and she was like, Miss Johnson, I see two Johnsons. Who is the other person? She was like, well, that's the landlord. She was like, well, that's the landlord. Who are you? Because she said, are y'all roommates? She said, no.
Yeah,
She said,
so I've seen the judge's order that ruled in the landlord tenant case. So I know there's always a ton of details to the story, but
Yeah,
let's try to hone in on just the answer. And then if I have follow-up questions,
okay,
let me ask them. And if I don't, then that probably means that's all I need about that. So that's okay. You are eager and ready to go, and I appreciate that. Sometimes people come in and they're surly and nasty, and I'm grateful that y'all have come in and been pleasant and professional. And what I know is a contentious and emotional proceeding, and so I do thank both of you for that. But so you have court. The landlord is present on the Zoom, but was not the one that filed the case. She was the one that filed the case. The judge makes a ruling, does the paperwork probably later, I'm guessing. And so that day you get a call from the landlord saying that she's at the house. And then what did you do?
I left work. I came to the house. When I got to the house, the police was there. Okay, so I'm explaining to the police.
And was Ms. Johnson there too?
Yeah, she was there. The landlord there. It was like maybe 2 or 3 police officers.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm explaining to them what's going on from beginning to the end. They even walked through the house. I said, let me show you what we see. I sleep in the master room. I showed them my kids' bedroom, the whole house. They're like, okay, we see that this is a lot of kids in here. I said, let me show you the closet. There's nothing in here of her. She does not stay here. So he was like, okay, well, the police was already there when I got there. So I don't know what was said, what was over. But he was like, well, she has a lease. I said, yeah, she has a lease, but she doesn't stay here. So they was like, well, y'all gonna have to go to court about that or whatever the case may be. So the same officers, because she wouldn't leave, I'm there and I'm asking her, Kim, why you didn't leave? Don't stay here. She's like, oh, you finna go. You finna get up out of here. So I called the police back. They came and said, okay, why you call us back? I said, well, this is a civil issue and I don't feel right. She doesn't stay here.
She can't even breathe.
He was like, it's nothing that they could do because of the lease. So that happened Monday, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, and 8th. I had to leave work every day because she's going back to the property. On the 5th day, which was Friday, I called the police again, and a different officer came out. I explained it to him just like I did the other officers. He said, stay right here. He went to her car, told her, I don't know what she told her, but she ended up pulling out of the driveway. She left. And then that was the 6th, 7th, 8th, the 10th.
If you don't have a lease or proof of residence, then how did you do that? I'm on mute there. See if you can, there you go. So I guess let's put it this way. She's saying that she was able to present a lease and set up utilities using her information. Is that your understanding of what she did?
No, I had no idea that she did all of that. When I called Georgia Power, I said, how did this person get lights in her name? They told me out of their mouth, they don't question about a lease. They just turn lights off. That's what they told me. And I asked somebody else in Georgia Power, they said the same thing. They don't have to have a lease to turn on lights. And I was like, what? The water bill is in my son's name, and he's deceased. The water bill is $700 and some. Now, I don't know how she got this. I promise you on my dead son, I don't know where she got this lease from. My landlord is upset with it. They want to know how she got it. She didn't get it from me, sir.
So, all right, do you have other questions for this witness?
Me?
Yes.
The only thing I want, Your Honor, that I just want her to just leave me alone and her peoples to stop threatening me. The lights are not in her name. The lights are in my name. The gas is in my name. The water is in my name. Everything is in my name because she had everything shut off. She knew she was going to lose this case, but for some reason, the judge just got crazy with it. She had boxes already in the house.
Hang on. You said two things there that in my head contradicted, which means I heard something wrong. So you said she turned all the stuff off, and then you said it was in your name. Are you saying it was in your name? She had your service disconnected and got her own? Or?
I was over the road. I had no idea when I found out.
And so what bills had her name? What bills, let's say as recently as March, what bills had her name on them?
The light bill.
Okay.
And when I called Georgia Power, the light bill. And when I called Georgia Power, I said, did y'all see a lease? Did she sign a lease or anything? They said, no, she didn't have to show that. Well, I said, I need the lights off in her name because she don't have, she she shouldn't have the lights turned on. I'm the head of the lease. So they asked me to send in the lease and talk to the head person down there. The lights are no longer in her name. They talked to the landlord as well, and to the attorney. The lights, they shut them off because they did not see a proper lease.
So you're saying they were in her name, but they turned them back?
Yes, they back in my name because they never saw a lease from her.
All right. Well, none of that was a question. So, but I guess it's instructive all the same. All right.
Right.
Miss Williams, I've got a prompt for you to unmute there. Are there,
Okay.
I guess I'll put it this way, were there any questions I should have asked you that I didn't know to ask or didn't think to ask?
Judge Elf.
No, I had the lights turned off because I would ride past there and all the lights on. So I just recently had the lights turned off, Your Honor. And she probably put them in her name. And the gas bill I didn't pay because I wasn't standing there, so the gas off. But I have proof that the bills were in my name the whole time. I can send you proof.
All right. Ms. Johnson was saying that this lease is supposed to expire at the end of this month or the end of June?
What, her lease or my lease?
Well, I guess tell me what you know. If you know both, you can answer both. If you only know one,
I
answer
don't know.
one.
I don't know when her lease ends, but the lease that I have, it says it ends in July. I don't know where her lease says.
1st of July, last of July.
Last of July.
Okay. And Ms. Johnson, I'm bouncing back and forth a little bit out of order here. What did you believe your lease says?
I know what my lease said. My lease ends on June the 30th. June the 30th of this year.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Miss Williams, anything else you think the court needs to hear today?
Like I say, I feel like she did the TPO to get me out of the house because she ultimately lost the case from her trying to evict me. I know that's why she did it. She does not stay there with me. She stays in Stockbridge with her girlfriend. I don't know why she's doing this to me. It's not even about me. It's about my kids. She has disrupted my whole, my job, my kids. I have been having to buy clothes every day, pay people to stay with them because she's been at my home. I drive by there every day. Yes, I do. I drive by there every day when I get off work to make sure nothing is going on because everything I own, everything that my deceased mother owned is in the home. And I see her there. And she's there cutting the grass. She's there doing like she stays there, but she does not stay there. I tried to get my kids to come on as a witness, and the judge told me that they was kind of too young to do that. But I do have my niece. She was in the waiting room, and my brother as well.
Okay, were they there when the police were there?
My niece was.
Is that Kiara?
Yes.
All right.
I need to run back in. My phone's back on here. Hold on.
Can I say something?
Not at the moment. Now, Miss Kiara, if you can hear me. All right. If you see that prompt to unmute, you can click that for me. We'll see if we can hear you.
This is great.
Can you hear me?
I can. Thank you. Can I have you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you swear any statements you make today will be the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you state your name for the record?
Kiara Williams.
Thank you. Were you able to see an incident about a month ago in early April? You can put your hand down if you like.
I'm sorry.
Were you present for an incident with Miss Johnson, Miss Williams, and the police in early April of this year?
Yes.
And tell me what you saw during that incident.
Yes. So when I arrived, I saw. I'm sorry, I have a dog in the background. So when I arrived, it was all of the police officers, Chiquita Williams, and Miss Kim Johnson. They were all outside, and
Welcome, Sarah.
Kim Johnson was going in and out of the house. And the police did come and talk to me and explain to me what had happened and that we had to leave the property.
Okay, who else was told to leave the property?
My aunt, Miss Chiquita Williams.
And approximately when was this?
I'm sorry.
Like, so this was the incident, about what day was this?
I'm not sure exactly what day it was, but it was around nighttime.
Okay, was this because your aunt was being served with a protective order, or was this for a different point in the time frame?
A different point in the time frame, and I think it was about a month ago.
Okay, and so this was. So do you think this was, because one date, and I'm taking this date from the petition just to help piece this together, Tuesday, April 4th, or do you think a different date?
You said Tuesday, April 4th, or a different date?
Yeah, do you know if that might have been the date or if it was something else?
Yes, I think that is the day. I think it was a Thursday, I believe, Tuesday or Thursday. I'm not sure.
All right, so the police come out, they tell you to leave, they tell Miss Williams to leave. Did they explain why?
They said that had I been there before they got there, that I would have been able to stay inside of the home. And they said that since Miss Kim Johnson had taken her own thing out on Miss Chiquita Williams, that she had to leave because she was there before she was there.
So, okay, so at that point they were talking about a protective order that was already in the system.
I believe she was getting served at that time.
Okay, so I will state for the record, I have a return of service that's dated April 13th, which is a Saturday. And that was filed with us on the 17th. So is it possible the conversation you're describing was from that weekend around the 13th?
I think it was a Thursday. I'm not sure what the exact day of the week that is. But yeah.
So, but Miss Williams was told to leave the property and there was reference to a protective order made.
Yes.
Okay, so were you there for an incident prior to that, maybe a week and a half prior, where police were out or there were other people on scene?
Yes, I was there as well that day.
Okay, and what happened at that incident?
Yes, so me and my aunt and all of the kids were inside of the home, and Miss Kim Johnson used the key to come inside of the home, and she brought in a huge speaker. I guess she was attempting to blast loud music to, I guess, annoy us or something. I'm not sure. But she was walking around the house touching things. She was turning on the faucet for long periods of time, taking the dishes out of the kitchen, putting them in boxes, going in and out of the garage, just messing with everything inside of the house.
Okay, and what happened after she was doing those things?
She got a chair and she sat in front of the door, and she was on the phone. I think she was recording as well. And she was just trying to go back and forth, just kept saying little petty things, calling people out of their names and stuff like that.
All right, were police called on that day?
Yes.
Okay, and what happened when police responded on that day?
The police arrived, and I'm not sure what they spoke about because I was at the door of the home. I was inside. But the police arrived, and then he spoke with Kim and Chiquita, and Miss Kim was outside screaming.
Let me ask these questions. Did you see anybody get arrested or put in a patrol car?
No.
Okay. Did you see anybody get told to leave or anybody pack their things and leave the property that day?
No.
Okay. All right. Miss Chiquita Williams, are there questions for this witness that I have not asked that you believe need to be asked?
Yes. Could you ask her, have she ever seen her stay at home? She come over there a lot. Has she ever seen her there, her property, her vehicle? And did she hear that day in question when you saying the police were coming? Did she, because it was my children's father that had came. She hear my children's father say anything to, what he said was, do I know any of her?
She can't say what he said. He's not here.
Okay,
So,
okay, you're right. Yeah,
so
just ask her, has she ever seen
we're
her?
going to go one at a time. Have you ever gone to the house, Miss Williams, and seen Miss Johnson there?
No, I haven't seen Miss Johnson at all there. It's my first time seeing her when she came in with the speaker.
Okay, how often do you go there?
I was always there. I'm there almost every day.
Okay, and you're saying the first time you saw her was April of 2022? I'm sorry, like a month ago.
Yes, that was my first time seeing her.
All right. So Miss Johnson, I can tell a lot of the things she's been saying you're in disagreement with, but do you have questions for this witness?
Mom, no.
Yes. Go ahead and ask her now.
Well, tell me what the questions are, and if they're relevant to the hearing, then yes, we'll ask them.
Yeah, she said I went to let the water run. I told them I was gonna clean up because the place was junky. I was gonna clean up.
So let's turn that into a question. Let me pause you there so I can turn this into a question. Did she make any comments to you about the house being dirty or in disarray, Miss Williams?
Only thing she said was when she came in the door and said that the house was dirty. That's the only thing she said.
She ever say anything about like that she was going to clean it or we were going to clean it or anything about cleaning it?
No, I didn't hear that at all.
All right. Miss Johnson, do you have other questions?
And she said that she'd be there every day. She said she'd be there every day. I came there to I forgot the date. What did I say, September? I'm not sure. I got everything written down. But anyway, I came there today and I took pictures of the house being in disarray. But she just stated that she'd be there every day. Where was she that day?
Okay. When do you think you took the pictures, Miss Johnson?
I took the picture on September. I got them here from the other judge.
You think you were there sometime in September of 2022 to take those pictures, Miss Johnson?
Yes, I was there. I was there to take the video.
And how long did that take you, Miss Johnson?
It took me about 30 minutes because I was on the phone with my landlord at the time. 30 minutes because she kept cussing me out.
The landlord?
Yeah, Chiquita. She kept cussing me out, telling me I'm invading her privacy.
All right, Miss Kiera Williams, were you there to see her take pictures in September of 2022?
No, I was probably at work.
Okay. Do you stay at the house?
I would say I was staying there with my aunt, but I had to go to work. I worked 46 minutes away from her, so I would leave and go to work, and I'll be at work all day, and then I'll have to drive 46 minutes back.
All right. All right. Miss Johnson, any other questions for Miss Kiara Williams?
She was there the day when she questioned and saying that I had loud music. And that night when the police came there, she was there as well as them cussing me out in front of the police officer. I'm the only one that was there. I can't sit here and say what the other person did, but she came up in the Jeep cussing me out. She was there too as well, cussing me out, but I know she's not going to admit to that. Only thing to admit to that is the police officers. I'm the and back to the person that said you know next of kin, and she said that man was there, and that was her husband. I had no idea that was her husband. So that was the man that said you better have a next of kin.
Okay, so still a stranger to you.
Right.
Got it. All right, Miss Williams, thank you for your testimony today. We're going to place you back in the waiting room. You'll be free to log off. And Miss Williams, you already said your other witness was not present for the particular incident that I asked about. So
Can I call him right quick and have him log back on? Because he was at work as well.
Well, no, the point is, you said they weren't there.
Yeah, he's already logged off.
Right. So if he's not there, then he doesn't have testimony relevant to today's hearing. So that's fine. So here's the deal. You don't need me to tell you this because y'all both seem to know pretty well. This is a mess. And that's a legal term of art I'm going to use right here. We're just going to say, legally speaking, this is a mess. The landlord-tenant case was dismissed because Ms. Johnson's not a landlord. What that means is, so where this starts to go wrong, and I want to be very clear, I don't want anyone to take any of this the wrong way. There are ways that things are supposed to be done, and when things aren't done the way that the law wishes, then things start to get complicated. And so this starts to go off the easy path and then toward the rocky road when she does you this favor and lets you come stay there. Whether there's a lease for you or not a lease, we're going to talk about both of those things. If there is a lease for you and it's with her, then she's basically assigning or subletting you the place. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. If it's with the landlord, it sounds like the landlord might be renting to you without evicting her, but possibly setting up a situation where they might be able to get money from both of you. I don't know what kind of game they're playing, if any, or if they were just happy to have a check coming in every month at the outset, so they just decided to roll with it. I think it's probably that one, if I had to guess. That's not what I'm here for today, though, so I don't have to spend too much time figuring that out. But what happens, she does the nice thing or does the favor for you. It makes it so she doesn't have to worry about rent. The place has somebody in it. The landlord's happy because they're getting a check. But the things that should be happening to have all this be on the straight and narrow, on the easy path, they don't ever happen. And so then over time, you have a situation where you've established, some sort of rights potentially by being there. She has paperwork that shows she can be there, but none of it anywhere describes who has a right to what or what portion of what. But what it really boils down to is this. We've spent however long we've been doing this, 45 minutes or so, probably having the same hearing or most of the same hearing that y'all had 4 weeks ago in front of the landlord-tenant judge. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here for a family violence protective order. And the questions I have to answer are whether there's been family violence committed by someone who is the predominant aggressor and whether those acts are likely to reoccur in the future. And the things that Miss Johnson had to deal with, for the most part, are by people that she acknowledges that she can't identify even today. And what the law does not allow me to do in these situations, even if I find those allegations truthful or the testimony truthful and credible, it doesn't allow me to issue a protective order with respect to Miss Williams for things that were done by other people who I still don't even know the name of. And even if they're doing this on behalf of Miss Williams, or sort of I'm going to use the term in support of Miss Williams. If you think about it as an argument, they're taking her side. We'll just put it that way. The law doesn't allow for a court to issue a protective order against Miss Williams because of things that are being done by third parties to Miss Johnson. And so this is not a situation that I can get further involved in than that. And what I will say is this. Both of you have a lease that is running out next month or the month after, and one or both of you, I suspect, will be going on your separate ways. I think this has been an unfortunate situation. I'm grateful that, as contentious as this is, at no point during this hearing, and y'all didn't get to see the other stuff that goes on here, I promise you it's rare that I don't have people start going back and forth with each other. Y'all have listened to what I've said. You've answered questions. You followed directions. You've been, I'll use the term professional and polite as this has gone on, even when you two clearly didn't agree with each other and you're both unhappy with the experiences you've had to go through. And that that alone gives me a lot of hope that as you move out away from this situation, that you two will both be able to live in the world peaceably with respect to each other and with others. And so I do appreciate that from you both. What the situation is that I think the landlord is kind of giving each of you the runaround in some way. Miss Johnson has never, been released from her lease, and she has certain rights associated with the property. Miss Williams has been allowed to stay there, both by the landlord and Miss Johnson, directly or indirectly, in whatever proportion. And so it's a mess that needs to be resolved with each of you dealing with the landlord more so than dealing with each other. If the landlord wants to take, if it's, I'll let those discussions need to be handled privately because they're not for this court's consideration. And so each of you can talk to the landlord about what they want and where it goes, depending on what documents people have saying there are leases or aren't leases and when. And if somebody how the property is divided up or assigned, or the original lease is assigned to a new person or whatever it is not before this court today. And so my hope for y'all, my guidance to y'all is that you talk civilly and politely with that landlord first, because if you can work it out through them for something that's agreeable for each of you, or even just for one of you, then that's a good start toward things, being comfortable moving forward. So we're going to place you back in the waiting room, and you'll be able to log off from there.
Alrighty, here we go. That was interesting. Very, very interesting. Oh boy, let's rock and roll to our main event. Judge Manning has been dropping Easter eggs for us lately. I think she's trolling us. Either that or she just knows how much we love her TPOs, because out of nowhere, they just appear on her page. They just appear. And we poach, and we love it. So let's get going. So I took one of the best ones, the ones that I loved, because it was a 2-for-1 kind of. It was one going on while she's handling another one, and this guy's in the chat room. It was just fantastic. So let's roll. Oh, really? Of course. Here we go. And of course it's not uploading. Give me a minute. Oh! Alright, so this will be my video that's playing. Alright, so we'll play that one. Alright, cool. What's up, court nerds? Time to get served.
Reviewed it, so that's okay. Hold on one second, Mr. Rivera. All right, he left. All right, so service was fine. Mr. Gales, we have not received a copy of anything from you, Mr. Gales. So you need to email that to Ms. Freed immediately. All right, so both Ms. Halls, is just yourselves as witnesses?
Yes.
All right, y'all both raise your right hands really quick for me. Y'all swear affirm testimony you're going to give is the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Ms. Sharon Hall?
do.
All right,
I
and Ms.
do.
Tiffany Hall.
Yes.
Okay. So Ms. Will, Mr. Joxel, y'all want me to put you in a breakout room with y'all's clients until I just got to do this one, or y'all want me to speak to your clients?
If you could, Your Honor, that would be helpful if Mr. Pike and I could have a chance to confer.
All right, Ms. Joxel, I mean, just so y'all can talk before, not necessarily anything, but just so y'all aren't sitting here maybe trying to text one another and talk about it. All right.
I'm not, I don't know if my client wants to observe and see how this works. I'm happy
okay.
or I'm happy to.
Okay, so I'm just moving you to breakout room 2, Ms. Yoxel, in case you need to go back in there, and I will put Mr. Pike and Ms. Will, if you go back down and join breakout room 1, I will put Mr. Pike in there.
Great, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Okay, so Ms. Sharon Hall, start from the most recent event and work backwards and tell me about the family violence.
Okay. Recent event on December 22nd, Mrs. Hall was served at her job. I spoke with the judge, Tamika.
No, stop. That doesn't matter about all that. I just want to know the family violence. Don't tell me what she did.
Okay. I have been dealing with Mrs. Hall on a number of occasions with knives, suicide attempts, and cutting me and giving me stitches and pointing guns at me. I've had to call the police department. I've got 5 police reports here.
Let me interrupt you, Ms. Hall.
Okay.
So, most recent event, you just said 9. Okay, November of 2022, pulled a knife on me. That's what I need.
Okay.
Does this so?
Okay.
What date, roughly?
Okay, so the dates. Okay, so on January 2nd, Miss Tiffany put a gun to her head and then pointed the gun at me and told me, "Do not move." On October 2020, Mrs. Hall cut me in front of her son and gave me 12 stitches.
Now that's in 2020?
Yeah, that was in 2020.
2022 was the gun.
Yeah, the gun was January 2nd on her other son's birthday. She pointed a gun at me. She pointed at her head first, and then she pointed it at me and told me I better not move. And then she pointed back at her head, which I then ran and called the police, and they took her to the hospital. In February, I called again because it was more threats. She was pointing the knife at me. She didn't lunge at me, but she just would point it and tell me to stay back. Our whole relationship has been about me trying to stop her from committing suicide. My son committed suicide, and
I'm sorry, but let me interrupt because there's certain things that I need to know.
Okay.
And specific things I need to know.
Okay.
So January of this year, but what specifically has happened like 2022, February, March, April, May, June, July?
Okay.
What had to make you come today or come when you did to apply? I want to keep because something had to happen.
Okay. Well, what happened with the TPO is on November 27th. I asked Miss Hall I've been sleeping on the floor for 4.5 months in my office. I asked her, if she can move. She agreed she would move to the downstairs bedroom where all her clothing is. She decided she was not going to move, and she got upset. And I told her that, the relationship was ending. I cannot sleep on the floor, and all of her children are sleeping in a bed, and I take care of all the bills in the home. So what happened is Miss Hall decided when I told her I was going to contact the police, she decided she would call the police on me for the first time, and she told them that I had assaulted her. They came out. The police talked with me, went up to talk with her. She screamed at him, yelled at him, told him he should have talked to her first. And then he said, "Well, where did she hit you?" And she could not tell him where. And then he had her checked out, her body, which they then said that there were no bruises or anything on her body. At that point, the police left. She told them she wanted me to go to jail, and they said she would go to jail as well. So she refused to do that because they said, as far as they're concerned, it didn't happen. So after the police left, she called her sister and her niece over here, and she requested that they beat me up and jump on me. And they didn't.
No, hold on, let me interrupt you. So did she say that to them in front of you?
Yes, I heard her.
Okay.
She was upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just there's nuances that I need to hear. That's why I keep interrupting you so much.
Right. I was sitting at the bottom.
Hold on, Ms. Sharon Hall. You hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Because Ms. Tiffany Hall is going to start interrupting. Just
okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Tiffany Hall. Just respond to what she said, please.
That is inaccurate, Judge, Your Honor. I have
I have had issues with suicidal ideations. I am being honest about that, but I have never, and there's not a report that I've ever threatened this woman. I need you to understand that we are in the middle of a divorce, and we have been sleeping separate since August. There has not been an issue. I do have 3 children, one being a minor child, and to be put out of our home 3 days before Christmas because we had a house built, and because I will not agree to her for her to keep the house, she had no other way but to concoct this whole story against me, Your Honor, so that she could have me and my children put out of our house 3 days before Christmas. I have a 12-year-old daughter, Your Honor. And yes, I do have PTSD, and I'm a survivor of domestic violence, and I'm still being abused. And I would like to return home because all this stuff that she's saying, only thing is true is that I have dealt with suicidal thoughts, Your Honor. But I have never threatened her. I have never pulled a gun on her. I have never pulled a knife on her. And I need you to understand this is a ploy. This is all a part of a bigger picture that we're in the middle of a divorce, and she wants the house, and I refuse to leave my house that I own. I co-own with her, and she works for law firms, and she has all these judges in her pocket, or so she tells her.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, no.
I need to share home. Nobody has a judge in their pocket. If you have a judge in their pocket, and I'm not saying you're saying me, but I'm also not going to let you talk about the judiciary like that.
Right.
Miss Sharon Hall, stay out of it. I got it.
No,
if that happened, they would have. So don't even go there.
Okay, I'm letting you what I have been threatened with and what her intimidation factors are. Your Honor. She works for a law firm.
Both of you stop.
I have a minor child who is sleeping on the floor with me at my older daughter's house, all due to a lie, Your Honor. And yes, I refuse to press charges because I didn't feel like I needed to go to jail when someone assaulted me. I called the police first, and subsequently she called them a few minutes later. So I'm hoping that you see through the bigger picture here, Your Honor.
Can I speak, Your Honor?
Hold on, Ms. Free's emailing me this police report because I looked over it already.
Yes. Both of her children are still here with me. Her oldest.
No, I have a 12-year-old who is not there.
The 12-year is with her father.
No, she was with her father for the holiday. My daughter lives there.
Okay, stop. Ms. Free is emailing me the police report where you were served. So, and it concerns me, ma'am, Miss Tiffany Hall. Sorry, you're both Hall, so you just have to apologize. That concerns me, Miss Tiffany Hall.
Which part, Your Honor?
Have you seen the police report?
No, Your Honor, I haven't.
So you were there when you were, Miss Free, you emailed it, right?
I'm sorry?
You could email that police report to my
email?
Yes. Okay, so you were there, right, Miss Tiffany Hall? So you know what happened.
I was there at the residence, and I know what happened. Yes, I know what happened. I'm not sure what she told them happened. Which day are you referring to? Is it November 27th or December 22nd?
Hold on, it's taking a minute for the email to get here.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I want you to see exactly what it says.
Okay. And can I make a statement about my 12-year-old daughter? She is in school. She's supposed to return back to school on Tuesday. And yes, she was with her father, but now she's back with me because their pipes busted. And so she's with me. She's with me 100% of the time. She was just with him for a week. She was supposed to return home on the 23rd, but of course.
Miss Tiffany Hall.
Yes.
So listen. This police officer says when they made the entry of the home, they observed you with an 8 to 10-inch knife in your right hand.
Yes, I threatened to kill myself, and they let me out that same night, Your Honor. I have paperwork that I can also email you to tell you that I was discharged.
You told the cop, why don't you just shoot me?
Yes.
Miss Tiffany Hall.
I told the cop, why don't you just shoot me? Take me out of my misery.
Miss Tiffany Hall. Miss Tiffany Hall. Miss Tiffany Hall. Miss Tiffany Hall, I am worried about you.
Because
Miss Tiffany Hall, please just listen to me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay. I apologize.
But we're going to grant this because y'all are going to get a divorce, and that's phenomenal. But I'm sure that Miss Sharon Hall still cares about you and does not want you to harm yourself. Miss Tiffany Hall, just please listen to me and don't interrupt me. The
Yes,
world
ma'am.
is a much better place with you here. You have children, you have other people that love you, and please get the help that you need. Please get the help that you need. Who cares what Sharon Hall's doing? You should not care what Sharon Hall's doing. What you need to do, Miss Tiffany Hall, is to take care of you, of your children. I want you to do that, Miss Tiffany Hall. Please do that. I do not want you to be a statistic, and a horrible statistic. This hurts my heart. Mr. Gales, stop putting stuff in the chat right now. Because when you do that, Mr. Gales, that's you violating the TPO. Unless you're telling me you love me. Now, Miss Tiffany Hall.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Sharon Hall. I'm sure Miss Tiffany Hall needs to get some belongings for her or the children.
Yes.
There are sheriffs that do standbys, but they're a few weeks, and especially with a holiday, they do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. and 6 p.m., and they only come by for like 2 hours. So they only come by from then, and that's with a domestic standby. Outside of that, unless you both have someone mutual that can be there instead of y'all being there together, that can be there while she gets her things, or you can. So just stop shaking your head. Just let me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Miss Honor, my children,
Miss Tiffany.
I go to school.
Miss Tiffany, stand by. Okay. Now I'm going to let whoever's here in the divorce make any changes that they deem necessary, because there's a much bigger picture than this. But somehow, her and the children needs to get some things in the Sharon Hall. So I don't know if you can get some things together, and there's options like drop it off with a mutual friend, or her friends, or her parents, or somewhere. But the Sharon Hall, can you do that where you get some things together and drop them off? So where would you drop them off?
Well, her 2 children are still here with me.
What? Your Honor.
The 2 oldest children are living with me.
Sleep on the floor.
And I will drop them off. I can have them help me drop them off at her
this is a 5-bedroom
mother's
house, Your Honor.
At her mother's house.
No, I don't talk to my mother's, ma'am.
Stand by.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Miss Sharon Hall. So
yes.
Now, are you talking about the kids?
My 12-year-old daughter.
You want the children to stay at grandma's house for mom?
No, the children, her 2 children are staying with me right now while she's not here.
Okay.
And
my child is 21 and 18.
21 and 18. Yeah.
So the children that are there, you don't mind if they stay there until
we can, yes, I don't have a problem. And they've asked me, can they stay here? They've asked me.
Okay. So whatever she needs to be dropped off at her mother's.
Okay.
You guys can do that, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay. That's what I need. I need you folks to do that. And Miss Tiffany Hall and Miss Sharon Hall, I need you to both put your email in the chat. We're going to send you a copy of this. Miss Tiffany Hall, I really, more than anything, want you to get help for yourself. Please.
But what about my 12-year-old daughter? You want her to go sleep on the floor when she has.
Where's the 12-year-old staying, Miss Sharon Hall?
The 12-year-old was just recently with her father, and she asked, could she go live with her father? As a matter of fact, this year she asked her mom.
That's not true.
Whoa,
that is not true.
Whoa. Okay, I don't need that.
Okay. Well, she's
stuck. So she can be with her.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all both put your emails in the chat. We'll send you copies. Miss Tiffany Hall, please get some help. Please. But we're going to place in there that anything you folks agree to in the divorce that can modify issues in the TPO, okay?
Okay.
So, Miss Tiffany Hall, you cannot contact Miss Sharon Hall at all. I mean, for the divorce, y'all are going to have contact at court, but you cannot do that. Miss Tiffany Hall, place your email in the chat. Miss Sharon Hall, if she doesn't, could you please put both of your emails in the chat so that we can send both of you copies of the, and make sure you check your junk mail, because sometimes it may go there.
Okay. Yes, I will. Yeah.
First nuclear bomb deployed. Have you had enough? It's the video I uploaded, guys. Wasn't enough for you. I got another one, and Mr. Gales just doesn't know when to stop, and he drives Judge Manning crazy. So let's watch.
Like 10 times. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I don't know, but I'm gonna tell you right now, Mr. Gill, you're violating this TPO
How am I violating?
because you said, I've never threatened you. Please stop lying. You have other men in my home when I'm not there. You also dated my cousin without me. I just want to go. Please leave me alone. You never did nothing to you. Please help. I love you, but you've destroyed my life. So I haven't destroyed your life. You don't love me. I didn't date your cousin. So those messages are directed to Miss Moore.
Because she responded it on there when I was talking to the when I was trying to talk to the DA or whoever that's responding on the on the chat. I was not talking directly to Latoya. I was just speaking out loud.
Speaking out loud, saying that.
Speaking on what was going on in the
what
situation.
She did was talking to Miss Free. When you say, I love you, but you destroyed my life, that was to her. That's not speaking out loud.
Yeah, that's when she was after she
Turn your
responded.
camera on, Mr. Gales. I'm not talking to a black screen.
I'm trying. They cut me off. It says I
Nothing's
cannot
cut
start
you
video.
off.
Yeah, it says I cannot start video because the host disabled me.
Nobody's disabled anything. I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah,
Turn
I
it
don't
off.
know why.
There you go. Now I want to see your face, not your desk, not the takeout menu, or the seats, or whatever that is. Your face.
Yeah, that's
Turn
my
your camera.
my receipts. My
Now,
receipts to
I have
the
not
hotel
seen,
stay.
if you say that you have a different bond order than the one that's here that I've looked at, you hadn't sent it. It's not there. And Ms. Freak, we got whatever Ms. Moore wanted to send. And we've got what the other ladies sent. So you're the only one that seems to have an issue emailing.
Yeah, I sent the bond order. I mean, and it's my place. I'm not sitting here. I'm at work. I have to work 40, 50 hours a week, as you can see.
Okay, so I don't see the bond order, and it's not here.
I tried to send it. Can
Okay,
I send it again? Can I send it again?
Are you sending it to my email, sir?
Yes. What is the email, man?
It's in the chat. I put it in there about 5 times.
It's in the chat again, Mr. Gale. She is
Sent the
not going to
email.
say her email out loud.
I'm responsible.
All right, stand by.
Tiffany Hall, 0424.
All right, so Ms. Moore, tell me this. Can you take yourself off mute, Ms. Moore?
Yes.
All right. And Ms. Moore, I don't care. Just answer my question. Obviously, you were arrested. Okay, who cares? You got that presumption of it. I don't care. Not holding that against anybody. Were you arrested somewhere besides Fulton County?
Like pertaining to this case?
He's talking about another bond order. So.
No, I wasn't arrested like outside of Fulton County.
So the bond order in Fulton County, you're saying, is the only one.
Right, and I called up about that, because.
I don't want you to say anything.
Okay.
I don't want you to say anything. I'm just saying that bond conditions that I saw on an arrest in April says stay away from the 2 minor children.
We don't have children.
Or the 2 children, whatever that's named on there.
Okay.
Am I right?
We don't have children, so I'm not sure.
Children that were included on it, right? Tell me what you were charged with.
Battery.
And anything else?
That's what the bond order was for, and it said no contact, and it didn't say anything about. I was never served with anything that said I couldn't be here on the property. I was just told no contact.
Hold on.
I'm sending everything. I send everything to georgia.gov. I don't know why it's not going.
Stop. You say one more of our emails on there, and that's it. I'm just going to remove you because I can't. All right, hold on a second, man.
Is there any way I could send it to the chat for a phone number?
Sir, you have to put my entire email on there, not just the Fulton part. You have to put Everything that I typed in is what you have to put in.
Okay, now something else is coming up. Okay. Mrs. Sandifer,
Yes, Your Honor.
I got this one now, and it was signed. You want to get this so you can see it. So this one does say stay away from the MLK address. If your bond hasn't been modified, ma'am. Can you pull this up if you have your Odyssey or no?
No, Your Honor, I don't have access to that.
All right. One second. All right, so on here it does say stay away from the MLK address, Ms. Moore. That's one of your bond conditions from September. And I don't see where they've been modified.
Well, I'm a little confused because when I called up on that and asked specifically about my bond conditions, they did not state that to me, and I never received anything in writing that said that to me. And as
so when you got out of jail, they give you a copy of your bond order.
I didn't receive.
When you process out, Ms. Bray is your public defender, so you need to reach out to Ms. Bray because I am looking at your bond order right here, and it says,
"Can you?"
Ms. Bray.
Email now. Please give me like 5 minutes. I gotta write it down because it's like
Mr.
pretty
Gale,
long.
stop talking.
Please give me like 5 minutes.
You said Ms. Bray was my public defender.
I mean, she is your public defender. So that's who. There it is. Do you see it? Right there. Stay away from 3751 MLK Junior Drive.
Okay, well, this is the first time I'm seeing this. I didn't know.
I mean, you get copies of it when you bond out. They give you copies when you bond. They give you all your paperwork. However, so you got to leave the house because your bond conditions have not been modified. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So where did he go? Now he's gone.
But moving forward, I for my safety, and I would still like to have this protected.
Stop. He's gone. He's gone. Can't hear him. He's gone. For some reason, he's gone. All right. So,
can I question?
Nope, not until he gets back.
Oh, okay.
Once they councils, we will start on yours in just a minute. But we still don't have proof of service, do we? Or do we, Ms. Free? On that one. Just have the card. Here's what we're going to do. Mr. Gales, here's what I'm going to do. Okay. This is going to be reset. Ms. Free, what date?
Let me pull up that calendar. We do the 4th, next Wednesday at 11 o'clock.
All right. So January the 4th at 11 a.m. In the meantime, Ms. Moore, you need to go by the police department and get a copy of that police report that says they served him. Number 2, we're going to modify the ex parte. So
You know, I have no place to go. I don't have money,
but Ms. Moore, right now, you're violating your bond condition. They can revoke your bond and you will sit in jail until you're tried.
I believe I spoke with them in regards to that before I even.
Ms. Moore, I'm looking at it. Your bond conditions have not been modified. So
Okay.
you can speak for Ms. Sandifer, but right now you're in violation of your bond conditions.
I wasn't aware. And how
Okay,
how
that's
much
fine, but I'm saying you got to leave the house.
how much
So
time?
do you need do you need their help to help you find somewhere to stay?
I don't have anywhere to go.
Ms. Sandifer, you could put her in touch with somebody.
Yes, Your Honor. If you want to put us in a breakout room, I'd be happy to talk
All
about this
right.
more.
So, and what do you think what's today? Wednesday? By Friday, can she get something, you think?
I will put her in touch with the immediate emergency.
Okay. Your co-host, Ms. Sandifer, so you can place you and you can place both of you in there. There's more, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reset this, and she'll have until Mr. Gales, like Friday at 6 p.m. And you'll have to be gone from the house.
Friday, 6 p.m.
And then, Mr. Gale, you can return at 6:30, not 6:01, not 6:15, 6:30 p.m. That should give, you will be gone.
Also,
okay. So that's all I'm doing today, because I'm not hearing evidence because we don't have proof of service. The Sandifer is going to put you in a breakout room. Mr. Gales, if you have placed your email in the chat, we have not received a single email from you, but anyway, place your email in the chat. We'll send you both copies of the reset order, or you need to get a copy of that police report and give it.
Hey people, it's been real. The Judge Manning's not up. I don't know why that's there. Why are you not on my Discord? Why are you not on the Discord? Get in there. It's fun. If you don't know how to hook it up, contact my mods. They will help you out in the chat tomorrow. KCC is live at 9:30. She is delightful. I'm gonna stop in because my daughter is still up. She's a pain in the neck. I still gotta let the dog out, but you guys take up all my time and I love it. I will see you tomorrow. Make sure you catch out all my videos. Make sure you like and subscribe onto you guys are all subscribed. Make sure you like. Make sure you set your notifications. Make sure you don't go to bed angry with anybody. Make sure you kiss your loved ones. I will see you tomorrow. And remember, you have been served.